Malcolm, I think, deserves this award for so many different reasons. You know, he has just done so much to help Thistle over the last few years, but probably more importantly to help other people, a bit like himself, struggling to come to terms with a long-term condition. And you know, there's nothing that is more inspirational and helpful than to have somebody else who's been there, done it, and found a way forward.
I first came to the Thistle for support. It was about 3 years ago. I had a couple of brain hemorrhages in my teenage years, and when I was 22. I came here and I was still on crutches, and I had heard Thistle had a gym. I did a lifestyle management course. When that course ended, I did a exercise-based course here, and then when that ended, I went away for summer and came back as a volunteer.
I think what he's helped us to do, he's helped us to really sort of tell the stories that we wanted to tell through the young person's work in Thistle. So we work with young disabled people about finding their way for life after school. And what Malcolm's done is he's helped us use film as a way to really get across some of the feedback from young people and to help us make change really in the world. So Malcolm kind of volunteered and got involved with a project working with the cinema, and he helped us kind of interview young people and capture their experience and impression of what it was like to be in a space when you've got anxiety or autism or additional support needs, and helped us bring together a couple of films that we then used to train all the staff and for staff to really understand what it feels like to be a young disabled person in a space like a mainstream cinema.
I'm in the Thistle Scribblers, and as a volunteer Malcolm would come to the Thistle Scribblers and do the admin for us, and he would also do reflective writing and read it out to us. I do poetry there, and he's put a lot of effort into everything that the Scribblers have done. A lot of work that, you know, it couldn't have been done in the time that he was here volunteering, so he obviously done it at home.
I get a lot of volunteering personally because I didn't really know what else to do when I started volunteering. I was at school when these things happened. I didn't really sort of have any goals for careers or anything. Because I came here for support, it kind of felt natural to stay on.
Well, and I think Malcolm's made a huge difference to the life of Thistle, because we've seen him go as somebody who's been a participant in our programmes to somebody who's volunteered, and just in the last few weeks he's come on the books, so he's employed by Thistle. So that's amazing in its own right, given where Malcolm felt he was to begin with.
Malcolm's had a huge impact in his time as a volunteer and at Thistle. Probably a great example of that would be the fact that he has lent his story to our fundraising campaign, and also with photographs which have been featured on buses, posters, and this has helped us to attract a huge amount of donors and also really help build the awareness of Thistle throughout Edinburgh and the local area.
When I came to Thistle, I wasn't very confident before. I think being on the crutches, I didn't like being in crowds. Like, I didn't really get buses or anything. Whereas now, that seems like forever ago. Well, now I'm literally on the side of the bus.
Malcolm has achieved loads of stuff. His confidence has soared. The people that look to Malcolm when they come in here, you know, and he's well known, he's on all the buses and the side of the buses, so everybody knows Malcolm. You know, you might not know the Thistle, but you know Malcolm.
He's put so much into the sort of volunteering work that he's been doing with Thistle. He was meant to only volunteer a few days, but then he'd spend the rest of the week still working on stuff at home, and then even at weekends and stuff, he's always just completely focused and dedicated to what he's been doing. His confidence has grown by quite a lot. His energy levels have also increased with the amount of, like, the more activity he's been doing, the more used to he's been getting. He suffers from chronic fatigue, so it's kind of crazy to see the amount he's able to do when he's like driven to what he wants to achieve.
I would definitely recommend volunteering. It's had so much positive impacts for me. I think me before I started volunteering compared to me now is extremely different.